It's green for go. They're racing.
He says go.
He says ta-da.
And Tiger Tara rolls away from them on the home turn.
Here comes another big boil over.
Equine athleticism at its best. The king is in the castle once more.
This is in one race. The rest are almost in another postcode.
She is a star with a capital S. It's going to be a triple treat, a miracle three-peat. Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed history here at Menangle. What about that?
It's getting right up on the sprint lane and it's going to bolt in.
Hello and welcome to episode 89 of the Harness Racing New South Wales Sprint Lane podcast. My name is Greg Hayes and this is the Sunday session where I look back at Saturday night's feature meeting in New South Wales, which last night was at Club Menangle, and I also get the chance to look at what is happening across the state as well. There is so much going on at the moment with the regional championships finals. 4 regions across the state held their $100,000 finals over the last few days. Ideally, it would have been nice to catch up with every winner over the week, but unfortunately, I don't have the time on the podcast. I will speak to a couple of the winners, though, today. On Wednesday, it was the Western Region final, and Hunter Shannon proved too strong. Proved that winning the heat was no fluke as well at $16. Doubled up, won the final at $11. Big congratulations to Peter Bullock and Justin Reynolds. Justin's driving really well at the moment. Raced by Rain Gold, so well done to Peter and Mari Neal on the victory. Favourite Fashion Icon finished last after braking, so we will see Hunter Shannon, Heavenly Sign and Terry Rama come to town for the final. On Friday afternoon at Wagga in the Riverina region final, it was Pete McRae and Brooklyn's Best, proving too strong at huge odds for trainer David Druitt. Now, I remember this filly back when she started her career as a 2-year-old. Actually, this is a super story. David sold the filly as a 2-year-old for good money after making a nice sum on the track as a juvenile. She has had a handful of homes, and Davey a couple of years ago bought her back for a fraction of what he sold her for as a broodmare, puts her in foal, and then after she has the foal, he decides to throw her back into work. It's a cracking yarn, and I thought I'd better get David on the podcast to tell us it in full. Make sure you stick around for that. Great storyteller is Davey Druitt, so make sure you have a listen to him as he tells us the Brooklyn Best story. Interesting to find out how she got her name as well. I'll ask him about that. Friday night, it was off to Newcastle for the Hunter region, and it was the Sid for Mark and Jack Callaghan combining. Finished third in the heat, and then Callaghan produces a 10 out of 10 drive in the final to score. Well done to Mark Callaghan. I've spoken to Mark many times over the years. Good horseman. He keeps bobbing up in these big races, so it's no fluke. The Sid, major reason, man from Bravos, head to town for the final after that one. Then last night, we saw the Metro final at Club Menangle. It was a cakewalk for Extreme C. He won his heat by more than 20 metres. He won the final just as easily, and he now looks to have a mortgage on the final again. Driver Brad Hewitt is going to join me today to have a chat on the podcast. Of course, trained by his father, David. The horse has already been locked in for a start in the Eureka and looks set to be a major player in that one. It was the first leg of a double for Brad last night, so we've got a bit to chat with him today about. While I'm speaking of Menangle, I wanted to congratulate young Lucas Rando, who drove Boom to victory last night. It was his first Metro winner, and he drove Boom an absolute treat. If you have been listening to the Menangle Express on the show, you would know I've been keen to follow Boom at its past few starts, so well-deserved victory for the horse. Showed a little bit of his gate speed last night that we know he's got. Really good drive by Lucas. Spoke to him on the podcast a few weeks ago. He's going places. Nice young bloke, and he's got a fair bit of ability. Speaking of young blokes, I'm going to continue talking to first-time winners today. Nic Horan, 24-year-old, who's been going around for a few years now. I think going into Wagga on Tuesday, he had driven in 68 races without a winner. Well, start 69 was lucky for him as he opened up his winning account, driving one for Jane and Ray Walker, Carmen on Bling. Another one of the younger brigade that has a career outside of harness racing. I'll catch up with Nick on the podcast today to find out a little bit more about him and what the win meant to him. So much to get through today. Mr. T's back with another couple of tips. He got 2 winners last week. I got 1. He's still nearly $50 behind. So he will pass on his tips later in the podcast. I'll have a couple as well. Plus, I'll look through every Menangle race on Saturday night and tell you what I saw in the Menangle Express. We had a bit of luck last night with horses I've been highlighting. Obviously, Boom, but Little Bliss got a mention recently, and she came out and won a leg of the quaddie last night. A lot to get through today, but the best story of the week is Brooklyn's Best winning. So I'm going to speak right now with David Druitt.
Wood Painting moves up solidly now. We've got the favourite, which is Hyperactive under lock and key. Desperately needs to go out. Painting goes for home. The third quarter, 28.5. Joycey's Lad has taken the lead. Top of the straight. Following it through is Brooklyn's Best. Now Hyperactive's got away from the inside. Captain's Catch can't go with Joycey's Lad at the moment as they turn in the straight. And the leader, Joycey's Lad, coming at it now is Brooklyn's Best, who's coming with a burst. Hyperactive behind them, and then Pete's Big Jim, but down the straight, it's Pete McRae going for glory with Brooklyn's Best, who's burst away, and he's going to win it. Brooklyn's Best first, second goes to Joycey's Lad, and behind those, as they went across the line, to Tifa coming through third.
Brooklyn's Best back winning a huge race, a $100,000 race, the regional final at Wagga on Friday. David Druitt trains the horse. Pete McRae drove her. And there's got to be a good story behind Brooklyn's Best because she's been very talented and she's had a few different owners and trainers over the years. And David Druitt, the man who puts the polish on her, is joining me to have a chat. G'day, Dave. How are you?
Yeah, good. How's yourself?
Mate, really well. There's got to be a great story with this filly or this mare now because she started with you. You owned her. She's moved away. She's had a foal. Let's talk about this victory first on Friday, and then we'll find out more about her. What a win it was. Great drive by Pete McRae.
Yeah, the drive was a pearler. I got a first-hand seat. I was sitting 5 fence and just watched it unfold. And if you had a look at the replay, I'm the back bloke running second last who's tearing.
Now, could you tell in the straight that Brooklyn's Best had hit the front?
Yeah, I could. I watched. He was doing everything right. I didn't say anything or do anything. I just watched it. And I thought, geez, he's on Jack's back. He'll get Jack late. She's quick if you don't have to do any work. She got him. Yeah, no, it was good.
Were you expecting a big performance from her?
I was. We did have a little bit of a bet, the Connections. I don't bet myself, but I got a few boys that like to have a bet, and there was a little bit of money for it. Yeah, we sort of thought it was a race to suit.
Well, mate, tell us the story because she started all the way back in the 2018 Breeders' Plate. That's how her career kicked off. She went around the heat in the final. She went around in the heat of the Tiara. She won the Gold Consolation. She ran second in the APG Consolation as a 2-year-old. So she obviously had a load of ability as a young horse.
Yeah, she did. And to be honest, a couple of times she probably got beat was my inexperience in the big ones, I went about it the wrong way. But, no, look, she was always a nice mare. I liked her from day one. I brought her home, broke her in. I thought, geez, this thing can run. She was my pick of the Brooklyn stud at the APG sale, and that's why she got the name Brooklyn's Best. I thought she was the pick of the fillies.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's a long story.
Yeah, well, then as a 3-year-old, she's got new owners, and she heads off to Sydney to join Team Tritton.
Yeah, my son sold it to the bloke who put her in a syndicate.
Yep.
And, I was happy to walk away. I'd had a lot of fun, won good money with her, and I thought I didn't want to go to Sydney to race in the Oaks or go to Bathurst. I don't like travelling much anymore, so it was a good result. I watched her. She done a good job, especially with Shane Tritton. He got on really good with her, and, she was a good filly.
So goes to Team Tritton. Paul Carlefeld has a go with her. Spends some time with Blake and Ellen Jones, then heads to the Morris stable, goes to Queensland for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, the horse pops back up in Dave Druitt's name. Tell us about how that all happened.
Well, her form goes off. She's a funny horse. She's an easy horse to work with. You get about a dozen, maybe 15 runs or something like that, and then all of a sudden she'll get sick of it, especially if you're doing a lot of travelling. The travelling she don't like, So I knew when her form went right off, I thought, well, she's just sick of it again, and they wanted to get rid of her, so I bought her back as a broodmare for $6,000. For me, it was not a fairly simple decision. I sold her for real good money, and I bought her back cheap. I thought I'll breed a foal out of you.
Gee, you've done well there, because then was it an embryo transfer, or did she actually have the foal that she's had?
No, she actually had the foal. She's a really good mother and had a foal really easy. And you wouldn't believe one of the other mares got crook, and she raced her foal as well. So she raced 2 foals, and just a lovely natured horse to have around. You can teach her to do just about anything.
So then what made you decide to throw her back into work?
I had a really nice horse who ran second last year in the regional finals, Oratoria. I sold him to America, and I looked at all the rest of the horses that I had, and I said, none of you have got enough speed for me to win a good race with except for you, and that was her. And she was feeling $1 million playing like a 3-year-old in the paddock, so that you're coming back in. So, simple as that.
No placings in her first 6 starts, but obviously she'd had a couple of years off, so it took her a while to get back into some form.
Yeah, it did. I put her in as a claimer after her first couple of ordinary, and then I couldn't get runs, and then I thought, well, I'll try with a junior and drop a grade, and she started to be round the money and earn. So it just took her a while to get that really hard fitness you got to get to win the big races.
She ran a cracker in the Wagga Pacers Cup. I know she ran 7th, but she was only beaten 5.5 metres, and when I was going back doing the form, I thought, well, yep, she's starting to hit some form again.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. I put her in the Wagga Cup. There was a real easy race for her that day, or an easier race. And Amanda Turnbull said to me, why am I driving this in the Wagga Cup and not in that other one? And I said, look, it just worked that good during the week. I thought it would win the other one and make it ineligible for the regional championships, but I did want a good hard hit out, so that's why you're in the Cup.
And then only scrapes into the regional championships by 20 centimetres, I think, because my Ultimate Skeeter finished 5th, and then it goes down and wins the consolation. So everything sort of, it was like everything aligning for Brooklyn's Best.
It did. Her fitness got to be absolutely spot on. We got the draw we wanted in the final. We needed to be able to follow something that was going to get us into the final. That was Joyce's lad, who's very strong, of Jack Payton. And, everything worked out terrific. So
was Pete always going to drive Brooklyn's Best like Burton? You drove Burton, or was it a toss-up?
Well, the girl that had been driving with a junior claim on Brooklyn's Best would have got the drive if she had the A-grade licence, but she still had a country licence, couldn't drive in a $100,000 one, Amy Dybert.
Yep.
The horse goes really good for her, but Pete's he's a close friend of the family, and he was always going to get the drive if Amy couldn't drive.
So what happens now? You're off to town.
Yeah, we go to town to get our ass kicked by a horse called Extreme C. They tell me he's very good. Brad told me 3 months ago, he said, I'm not going to set one for that regional championship. Why not? He said, the old man's got one that'll just kick the ass anything I got.
So, but what's your long-term plans? Will you put her back into fold? Now she's won. You've got to keep going with her, don't you?
Yeah, look, I was going to take her to Brisbane to win an MO, because she's still an MO in Brisbane, but I think she's cactused that now. But she might still go for a ride to Brisbane, but I do know after so much racing, she will just get sick of it and just lose interest, That's her.
So what, have you got something else to go to Brisbane with her?
I have. I've got a nice, I got 2 Q-breeds that are eligible for bonuses. I won a consolation of the Oaks last year with a filly called Better's Moon, who's no champion, but a nice, honest filly, and who really likes being in Queensland. She's won 2 in Queensland. She only had 1 start there last year and she won. She was good. So, yeah, we'll take another couple to go up with Brooklyn's Best.
Mate, great story, this Brooklyn's Best story. The fact that, you got good money for her, you're able to sell her, then you buy her back cheap, you put her in foal, she raises 2 foals, and then she comes back and wins a $100,000 race for you. I don't think it's like a fairy tale.
Well, it's one of them horses, you meet something, you fall in love with it, and you go, I got to let it go. And then you think, I really liked having it round, I'll buy it back. So you did, Just the personality, her personality and my personality are very similar. We're both terribly impatient. We're both very sociable, and we both like to show off.
Mate, what's the foal like? Where's it at?
The foal's a cracker of a foal. I don't know if it's going to have any ability, but it is a cracker of a foal. And I only sort of half broke it in. I had it on the jogging machine, taught it to lead, and it's a lovely foal. Whether it's any good or not, I don't know, but I really like the foal.
It's by Bling It On, isn't it?
It's by Bling It On. Next year, I'll be racing the foal. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, mate, great story. I know you're off to town to take on Extreme C, who might be one of the best in its age group in the country, so it won't get any easier. But, mate, good luck. Congratulations. Great story.
I do believe she can run a place, but I know I get on really good with Brad Hewitt, and he's a realist, and when he says, I'm not going to take on the old man's horse, I think, that's a bad sign.
And Pete McRae keeps the drive?
Yeah, Pete McRae will drive the horse. Yeah, he's quite happy to go down and drive occasionally in Sydney, as long as it's a bit more prize money.
Well, mate, good luck. All the best.
No worries. Thanks, Greg. Nice to chat. See you later.
and the leader is Extreme C, still 5 metres in front on a loose rein. My Ultimate Snow is trying to keep his back, but he gives this horse a little bit of rein, and Extreme C is about to explode clear from them. Races 6 metres on My Ultimate Snowy, then came Corby Stumbler, Turbo Tommy down the outside, Waterboy Jack, but at the moment this has put them to the sword. Extreme C, he is not just an Extreme C, he is extremely good. Look at him go. He hasn't even moved on him. He's going to win by about 25 metres.
I don't know if feature race wins come any more impressive than what we saw last night. Extreme C absolutely annihilating the opposition. $100,000 race won by 26.1 metres, went 152.8. Looked as though it could have gone quicker, although the sectionals were unbelievable, so I don't know if it could have. The man who sat behind the horse is Brad Hewitt. He's joining me to have a chat. Congratulations, Brad. That looked super.
Yeah, and felt even better.
He just looks like he might be freakish, I think.
Yeah, like just every time he goes out, he's getting more and more tractable now. Like he's going around like a proper racehorse. He's last sort of two or three starts now, and yeah, as you said, he just keeps on doing it for fun. Like he's gone without pulling the plugs, like and going to the line still on the bit. Like he's just unbelievable what he can do.
So going into the race last night, did you have any concerns at all? Was it just a matter of, off that second row draw, just getting away safely and then putting him into the race as soon as you could?
Yeah, that was it. Just obviously the big fields and like 12 horses and fourth or second line there. Like you sort of hands are tied there for the first couple hundred metres or whatever. I was just there, wanted to make sure. Never found any for that first sort of 200 or 300 metres, and then it was just a case of when the tempo backed off and just could have put him into the race.
Mate, his racing manners have obviously improved. He knows what he's still learning, but he knows what it's all about now. If he drew well, what sort of gate speed do you reckon he's got?
Yeah, in time he's going to have really good gate speed, and even in the heat, like coming out sort of with a stranglehold, like just how the draws played that day in the heat, and there was a bit of gate speed and whatnot around him. I just didn't want to fire him up because I thought the horse that did lead was a chance of wanting to park him, which it did, and I just didn't want to stir him up out of the gate and just have him over racing for 2,300 metres sort of thing. So I just let him find his feet early there, but like he could have come out and sort of led that day, and he was first up for about 6 or 7 weeks too, so just wanted to make sure didn't do anything wrong because he hadn't had the practice again lately, but he's going to have really good gate speed.
So 152.8 last night. I think the record's 151 and a piece. Can he go? Can he go quicker? Do you think?
Oh yeah, well like you said last night, he was still doing it with ease, but yeah, you want to pick and choose your mark when you sort of want to put in big runs like that. But as I said, he just does it for fun. Like he's running 29 quarters and even 27 something around the bend. I thought it was about a 28 and a half. Like he just does it with such ease, and just them good ones. They're just got that special gait and how they can just do it. Like it's just hard to explain.
Mate, does he handle the trip up to Sydney? Is he a good traveller?
Yeah, well, he stood there like a lamb last night. In the heat, he was pretty on his toes, and a couple of weeks before that, I actually took him down and just worked him in between races, and he was absolutely off his head that night. So, I'm quite glad I went and got that out of the way. But it's just all green and experience. Like the more he goes around, the better he's going to be. But he stood there like a lamb last night. So just the more he does of it, the better he's going to be.
So he's had 9 starts now. What do you think? He's still probably another 6 months, 12 months away of racing, of really learning what it is to be a racehorse?
Probably not that far, but he's just going to improve too. But like in another sort of 6-12 months, as you said, like he's going to be racing like in the elite level then too. But I'm pretty confident now. Like the way he's just been doing everything his last few runs now, like he's nice and tractable, and he doesn't want to do them silly things. Like, he's got his quirks and everything still, but like, you can pretty much trust him doing anything now. You just got to fine tune a few little things, and but yeah, he'll get his chance to do that over the next few months before the Eureka and things like that. But the more he goes around, the better he's going to be, and he's just maturing, like, in the head every time, even at home and that. Like, he's just learning to really be a proper racehorse.
Haven't spoken to you since he got invited to the Eureka. Wayne Loader has locked him in as his representative. Great for the Goulburn area to have two horses in the Eureka locked in already. Of course, Captain's Knox there, and now this bloke, Extreme C. So, and great for your stable as well, the overall Hewitt clan.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal, like, to have their two horses in the world's richest race. Like, it sort of doesn't really sink in until you have a proper think about it, and then especially with Mum and Dad, like, they bred that horse, and I've had that family going for generations now. Like, I think it's been going for about 30 odd years and keeps on popping up a nice horse. But this little fella, like, he's just that one that completely out of the box.
Yeah, I went back through the breeding. Like, it is the Red Sea family, isn't it? So, like, there is relation. I know it's a long way back, but there is a relation there to Red Sea, who was such that a brilliant horse for your family.
Yeah, that's right. Like, he was sort of a once in a lifetime horse, and he was just plagued by injuries his whole life. I think he broke down in each of his legs, Dad told me. So, but yeah, I think his record was 21 from 24 or something like that, and he was just a freakish talent too. Like, I've spent plenty of time watching his videos and that, and he had unbelievable speed. And yeah, I think this bloke, he could be pushing him, or if not better.
Mate, was the first leg of a double last night. Typo won as well, which was good to see him bounce back after running third last week. But last night did it tough, 150.1.
Yeah, he went super. I was kicking myself last week. I was training error there why he didn't perform. He's worn wedges his whole life. He goes down a bumper, and any trainer will know, like, it's sort of not the best for the feet, having them shoes on all the time. And I put pads on him last week and couldn't have picked the worst week to do it with how wet and bad the track was. And I think it was just like running in gumboots for him, and because I was really disappointed. But yeah, that's what I put it down to, and I was confident he'd come out and run a really good race again last night, and he went super.
Mate, Sailor Girl probably should have been 3 for you. You got checked at a vital stage, and in the end, that's probably cost you victory.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, she should have won. I felt got there, like, it's been going really good, that little mare last couple, and thought she could win. And yeah, she should have settled. She was going to be settled a lot handier than what she did, and still made up a heap of ground. But yeah, she was certainly beaten, I think.
Mate, you've had a pretty big couple of weeks as well. We've mentioned the Eureka, but you've also locked in a few races in Queensland. Captain's Knox got a run in the Rising Sun on July 13, and Bittersweet's going to go around in the Protestar. So a couple of nice races for your horses to compete in during the winter.
Yeah, really looking forward to getting up there this year. Got a really nice team, and I just love getting up there just for the weather for starters, but it's a great carnival. I reckon it's the best carnival in Australia. It's really well run, and the prize money they put on there these days, like the last few years, has been unreal. So yeah, really looking forward to getting up there. Where
is Captain's Knock at the moment? Is he just having a light work at the moment, getting ready for all those feature races?
I actually had his first trial back yesterday. Just had a quiet trial and just finished in behind him, and yeah, he'll have another trial or two, and then probably have a couple of starts before he heads up to Queensland is the plan. Okay,
and Bittersweet, where's she?
Yeah, she's back in too. She's probably another fortnight or so off the trials, something like that, and same thing with her. Just give her sort of 2 or 3 trials and that before she gets back. I just don't want to start her too many times because she's already a 70-rider, so she'll just come back as a free-for-all mare next season if she keeps on winning races. So just keep on ticking along here at home, and she might even have a start up in Brisbane before that big slot race up there.
Well, mate, plenty to look forward to in the Hewitt camp, and you're having a really good run at the moment. Wish you all the best of luck with Extreme C now. You've got the big final, and what was he, $1.15 last night? He'd probably be shorter going around in the big final. So all the best of luck with it.
Thanks very much, Isaac.
Third quarter, 29.1. On the turn they race. It's Misty Air. The outsiders didn't I. Now, where are the fresh legs? I wonder. My Runner is battling. Carmen on Bling out wide. Glamour Fox is making some ground. And further back, Call Me Dragon. Blake Jones is looking for room, getting up behind them in about fourth. It might be the one if it can get out, but it can't get out. It's Misty Air who's still led. Didn't I's coming at them. The Lurkers getting up on the inside. My Runner and Carmen on Bling. It might be the night for Carmen on Bling. Carmen on Bling. Carmen on Bling has won it over Call Me Dragon, who got out late.
We love to chat to first-time winners on the podcast, and we had another one during the week. Nic Horan brought up his first win. I don't think the 14th of May is a date that he'll forget in a while. Been trying for a few years and finally got his first winner at Wagga, driving Carmen on Bling for Jane Walker, and Nick's joining me to have a chat. Congratulations, Nick. Well done.
Thank you.
Mate, it's been a while coming, and you've had a couple of narrow defeats. Did you think that it was ever going to come?
No.
It's been a long way to get to that first winner, but what was the feeling like when Carmen on Bling hit the line first?
Unbelievable. It's massive relief, really.
Well,
finally cracked that one.
Yeah, well, take us through it because, there was a lot of speed on in the race.
Yeah, there sure was. I didn't really want to go that quick, but I said to Ray, we'll probably get stuck in the death tonight. He said, just drive him how he feels, and I warmed him up, and he felt disgraceful. I was disappointed how he warmed up, but as soon as he seen that mobile, he just felt like a different horse.
And you got up into you're in the chair, and then there was some speed. Jackson Painting came round and worked his way to the front. You again caught outside the leader. There was more pressure out three wide, and you kicked up and made that horse work. It all seemed to work in your favour, though, because on the turn, everything was paddling, and you were able to get into the clear and come home with a wet sail.
Yeah, I was. When I looked in front and seen Jack and Jared under the bat, and then I looked over my shoulder and I said, well, there's nothing coming. I think we're home here. And, yeah, it was great.
So when you hit the line, I noticed straight after the line, you look over at Blake Jones, and there was a little bit of a salute afterwards. So were you just making sure that you had the victory all sealed up?
Correct.
And
Blake said congrats, and that's when I done it. It's been a few times that I've pulled up and I thought I've got there and I've gotten beaten. So it was finally, when someone said I'd done it, it was a massive relief.
And then I noticed Jack Painting after the line leaned over and you shook hands with him as well?
Yeah, I was wrapped. He was wrapped for me. So he knows how long I've waited for this win, and, yeah, it was great.
How did you get involved in harness racing?
Well, many years ago, my father had horses with Ray, and then I actually got suspended from school. And it was either staying home and do my homework or go to the stable. So I've been there ever since.
And so didn't really grow up around horses, but just fell in love with them after your old man had one?
Yeah, I had just ponies back in the day, and then never really got involved. I only started really driving track work when I was 17. So I was never really involved much with the horses. But then when I got expelled from school, I went straight there and been there ever since. It's been great.
And how is it? So you work for Ray and Jane Walker?
Actually a qualified diesel mechanic, but I work when I'm not at work. I'm with Ray and Jane, so I love it.
So basically, you left school and then decided to start the apprenticeship?
No, I actually done work experience at a place where I work, and they offered me a job, and I've been there ever since.
Wow. Okay. So keep going.
I done one term of year 11, and they said, do you want a job? I was like, yep, when do you want me to start?
So you've got your trade behind you, and you just the harness racing's an interest on the side. Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah, hopefully one day I might be able to go out full time, but I'll just keep doing what I'm doing at the moment.
So is the training or the driving? Which one do you find better?
Probably the training side. I love training them, just working them up to the races. I love breaking them in and that. So, it's great to have both behind me. I've actually got my trainer's license now. So, it's good to have both.
Mate, I went back and had a look at your career. So I think that was start 69 or 70. You've driven 9 placings, but you've been involved in a couple of tight finishes in your time.
Yeah, we sure have. It's been a few times that I thought I finally got there, and a couple of blokes who says, "Oh, you nearly got there." I was like, "Oh, not again."
Is Carmen on Bling, does it become one of your favourites now as a result of that victory?
Yeah, he sure has. He's always been one of my favourites. I got beat on him in September last year, and I actually got suspended on him that day, and I lost the drive, and he came out and won the next week, and I was devastated when he won. But I was just great that he finally won a race, and because we broke him in, Mick Cahill bought him from the Bathurst Yearling sales. And to finally get into the races, he took a long time to gate up, and he had a few years off and came back, and he's never missed a beat since.
And with your work, are you doing any driving in the next foreseeable future? Will you be getting to the races again for another drive?
Yeah, probably next week, hopefully. It just depends where Ray and Jane are going to nominate the horses. It's hard working around with work on the Fridays, but hopefully they start them on the Tuesdays.
So are you based in tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yep.
Correct.
Well, mate, congratulations. Well done. Great to see a first-time winner, Carmen on Bling, winning the race, Nic Horan doing the driving. Congratulations, mate. All the best of luck for the future.
Thank you.
Time for the Menangle Express. Race 1, favourite was Jillaby Nitro at $2.30. There was a bit of speed early in this one. Wave the Bill, I Break the Line, and Last Tango in Heaven all went forward early. Last Tango in Heaven got the lead, but did have to run a 25.8 first quarter to get there. On the pegs, it was Last Tango in Heaven, I Break the Line, Wave the Bill, Windy Hill, Tara, and Double Encounter. Running line, Stravinsky, Jillaby Nitro, and Joni N. They didn't back it off a lot, 28.3 for the second quarter and then 28.3 for the third. On the turn, I Break the Line made room to get away from the inside. Jillaby Nitro was produced from the 1-1. Windy Hill Tara had to ease and come around Jillaby Nitro. I Break the Line rolled past the leader, won by a neck, 27 up the straight, 149.4 to open up the card, and it was freezing in Sydney, so good run. Last Tango in Heaven, good after early burn, and thought Windy Hill Tara is worth throwing into the black book. Race number 2, the favourite was Classy Operator at 150. This was over the long trip. There was a lot of speed early. Kalara Juggernaut, Sheffield Sparky, Donegal Luther all went hard early. Donegal Luther got to the pegs first, but it was then Classy Operator who came around and took the lead, and they went into Indian File. So Classy Operator, Donegal Luther, Sheffield Sparky, Kalara Juggernaut, Michael Caine, Carlo Gambino, Nicholas Cage, Rick O'Shea, He's Dusty, and Lou's Dream. Lead time was good, 48.5. They got to the judge with a lap to go. Nicholas Cage came off the inside to start the running line, and all the horses behind him came one off. 31 and 29.8 first two quarters. They got serious, 27.7 around the turn. Nicholas Cage was gone. That forced Rick O'Shea to come 3 wide earlier than he wanted. Donegal Luther got a clear shot in the straight at Classy Operator, but couldn't reel it in. Not much in it on the line. You know it's close when Fred won't have a go. 27.3 up the straight, 155 the mile rate. 2 horses down the outside were good, Lou's Dream and Rick O'Shea. Donegal Luther can win one soon with a similar racing pattern. Race number 3, the favourite was I'm in Trouble at $4. Speed early from Boom, more tactical than anything, as I'm in Trouble was going to lead. They went into Indian File again, so it was I'm in Trouble, Boom, Total Diva, Saginor, Our Vinny, Port Our Prince, Heavenly Holly and Tishan Raider. 26.3 first quarter, which was quick enough. Tishan Raider came off the inside to start the running line at the 900 metre mark. Nothing else came out. 30.5 second quarter. Saginor slipped off the inside as Tishan Raider slid up near it. That was past the cages, and Saginor then zoomed into the race. 28.5 third quarter, dash up the straight, didn't suit the leader. Boom and Lucas Rando waited as long as they could before coming in to the outside. Never in much doubt. I'm in Trouble, held on for second. Saginor went well for third, spaced the rest. 26.5 up the straight, 151.8. Tishan Raider got fourth. He can probably win a midweek race if he gets dropped back. Race 4 was the consolation of the regional final. Favourite was Outside Fighter at $3.50. I think if he was in any other barn, he's double that price. His racing pattern leaves him so vulnerable up the straight. Tough, but is so one-paced. If he got around Harold Park back in the day, he would have won some races there, but anyway, keep in mind in this race, they started 8 off the front, 4 off the back. Mayor of Elwood was fast off the gate and led. Pegs was Mayor of Elwood, Our Southern Star, Go Away Again, Bartello, Heavenly Reason, Playful Miss, Magic Mateo and Denny Rocks. Running line was Major Statement, Outside Fighter, Rocket Boy, Dance and Deliver. As they swung into the straight the first time, Outside Fighter came out of the 1-1 and got the lead, and Mayor of Elwood tried to hold but couldn't. So by the time they got to the judge, Outside Fighter was in front. Lead time 50 seconds, but there was speed in the last little bit of that lead time. 27.9 first quarter was quick as they swung into the back straight. Denny Rocks dropped out with atrial fibrillation. 29-8 second quarter, Outside Fighter got going at the cages. Major Statement in the Death was gone, which forced Rocket Boy out, and Dance and Deliver tracked it up perfectly. 28-8 to the turn. Go Away Again eased out off the pegs prior to the turn. Bartello was having traffic issues and had to ease right to the outside. Dance and Deliver was produced off cover. Our Southern Star got a run up the inside. Outside Fighter was beaten. Bartello zoomed home late but couldn't reel in Dance and Deliver. Really good drive by Will Rickson. Drove it a treat, and that was probably the win. Bartello flooded home. Good run. My Southern Star and Go Away Again were both good up the straight too. Final quarter 28-1, mile rate 155.2. Race 5, the regional final, Extreme C, $1.15. Again, 8-4, the configuration at the start. Speedy early from Corby Stumbler, and it sped across to lead. My Ultimate Snowy was buried on the pegs, but once it got some room to come off the inside, it did. It dashed around to the front. So they settled like this. Pegs was My Ultimate Snowy, Corby Stumbler, Speculating, Has the Courage, Van Basten, and A Gift from the Angels. Running line, Turbo Tommy, Prince of Peace, Waterboy Jack, Extreme C, Foxy Data, and Captain Blood. Extreme C shot up 3 wide in the front straight and got the lead by the time they got to the judge. Lead time 48.6, so quicker than we'd seen throughout the night. And then Brad Hewitt just let him stroll through the first 2 quarters, 29.5, 29.1. Scooted round the turn in 27.6, and that put paid to Turbo Tommy. Forced Waterboy Jack out earlier than they would have liked. Van Basten squeezed off the inside on the turn. Leader was off and gone. Pretty special horse. 26.4 untouched. 152.8 overall for the long trip. Foxy Dada got home well for second. Van Basten hit the line well too. My Ultimate Snowy held on for third. Has the Courage made ground on the pegs? Few to follow in that race in weaker company. Winner a Superstar that could be your Eureka favourite in a few months' time. Race 6, Typo, $3 favourite. There was speed early from Tay-Tay and Where You Been Boppin', but Where You Been Boppin' got down to the pegs. Then behind it, Tay-Tay, Simply Sam, Arden's Ace. Running line, Typo worked forward to the chair. Malcolm's Rhythm was on its back, and 1-2 was I'm Prezi Bell. 26.7 off the gate. Then there wasn't a lot of change until the straight, 29.5 and 27 around the side. As they turned, Simply Sam and Arden's Ace both needed runs. Where You Been Boppin' was tiring and gave Tay-Tay half a run on the inside. Simply Sam tried to come around Typo. There was no run. There was a half a run up the inside, and Morris had to wait and be patient. Arden's Ace was still travelling with nowhere to go. Simply Sam squeezed through late, couldn't get Typo. Tough effort. 150.1 in the chair, 26.9 up the straight. Simply Sam very good. It'll win again soon. Arden's Ace screaming out to win. If it gets a drop back soon, watch out. Race 7, the favourite was Dark Terror at $2.60. Speed early from Red Reactor, Smooth Overarm, and Vincent Van Gogh. It was Vincent Van Gogh who crossed. They went into Indian File early, so Vincent Van Gogh, Red Reactor, Smooth Overarm, Dark Terror, Lochiel, Sailor Girl, Hands On, Our Uncle Jim, Robbie Rocket, and Little Bliss. As they swung into the straight, Robbie Rocket came off the inside, which meant Sailor Girl came out in front of it. Didn't want to be pocketed. Lochiel moved out in front of Sailor Girl. And then Dark Terror squeezed out late in the shuffle-up. Sailor Girl looked to be 2.5 wide, and there wasn't enough room for everyone. So it galloped for a few strides and had to go back to last. Lead time was 48.9, which was quick enough. 30.5 and 30 for the first 2 quarters. Dark Terror levelled up before the turn. Looked in some trouble, though. 28.2 round the side. Sailor Girl and Little Bliss came wide. Dark Terror rolled out off the inside under pressure and gave room for a couple, including Our Uncle Jim, who was okay late. Little Bliss flooded home to win and beat Sailor Girl. Super unlucky Sailor Girl. Stays out of trouble at the bell and it wins. Smooth Overarm was looking to squeeze through late. Wasn't too bad. Run that race 5 times. You'll get 5 different winners. 28.5 for a 156.2 mile. Race 8 was the trot. Royal Dan was the shorty at $1.28. The only way they were beating it was if it galloped. Majestic Trio showed speed early and led, but Royal Dan was right there, worked to the front. All but one in single file early, so it was Royal Dan, Majestic Trio, Sunny G, Trot to Chevron, It's Fergie Time, Rogue Gentleman, and the one off the inside was Jungle Eyes. 27.3, 28.7. Rogue Gentleman came off the inside to sit 1-1, but the place to be in this race was on the pegs. 28.8 round the side, the race was over. Majestic Trio was struggling. Sunny G got off the inside and chased hard, but comprehensive win to Royal Dan. 28.3 for a 153.1 mile. Still think it can get the record on a warm night with a red-hot track. Sunny G was good. It can win again soon. Majestic Trio held on for third after being used up early. Best win of the night, Extreme C by a long, long, long way. Serious Racehorse looks set to win a few feature races in its career. Best beaten effort of the night, I'm going to go with Bartello. Huge in defeat. I think if it got clear earlier, I think it wins. Was only officially beaten 1.3 metres and was doing its best work late. And best drive of the night, Lucas Rando was perfect in his drive on Boom. Josh Gallagher drove I Break the Line similarly, perfectly in the first. But I'm going to go with Will Rickson on Dance and Deliver. I don't think there are too many other ways that horse wins the race, except for the run that it got. Will had it in the perfect place and it held on narrowly. So best drive of the night, Will Rickson on Dance and Deliver.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Winning. Hey, that's pretty good.
Winner!
That was legitness.
That I say, all right. Wow, winning.
Bam! Just like that. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. A winner. Just like that.
And the winner is...
Oh, it'd have to be Mr. T. He got 2 winners last week for a handy profit. I got 1, so 3 out of the 4 tips have been successful. Mr. T has found 2 at Bathurst. So the rules, we have $10 on our 2 tips each week on the tab. I'm minus $5 overall, and he's minus $49. So Mr. T's tips firstly. Race 6, number 1, Johnny's Blue for Mark Hewitt and Olivia Frisbee. This is at Bathurst on Wednesday. A little bit concerned, Mr. T, that it might get crossed and shuffled back, Johnny's Blue. But more concerning is the fact for mine that it's had a beaten margin, if you combine its last 4 starts, of over 100 metres. But Mr. T's tipping a big rebound with Johnny's Blue. So race 6 at Bathurst, number 1, Johnny's Blue Wednesday. And his second one is race 8, number 8, Where's Harry? It's a first starter for Paul Fitzpatrick. A few trials at Menangles, won 2 of them. Time's only been average, but Mr. T's confident he'll take some beating from the wide draw. Don't see Paul Fitzpatrick make the trip to Bathurst all that often, so that might be a good lead as well. Race 8, number 8, Where's Harry? My 2 are 1 at Menangle, 1 at Bathurst. Not big into tipping trotters on a Tuesday unless they drop back from Saturday night. However, I did pick this one up at the trials. Race 1, number 7, Aldebaran Bell. Last 3 wins were from the stand, which is a little bit of a worry because it's a mobile on Tuesday, but it did trial really well. Beat home My Lightning McQueen. Never really asked to do anything in the trial and was very strong to the line. First up for Sophia Arvidsson, so I'll go with it to prove too strong in race 1. That's number 7, Aldebaran Bell. And then Bathurst on Wednesday night for me. Race 4, number 5, Takeout. Won the consolation of the regional final with a really smart drive by Amanda Turnbull. She's committed to one of her own in this race, so Will Rickson gets the drive. It won 2 of its first 40 starts, Takeout, and then all of a sudden it's just clicked and hit form. It's won 3 of its last 5. So while it's in that good form, I'm going to stick with it. Race 4, number 5, Takeout. Update in the fantasy harness racing, and we've only got 1 round left. Round 25 run this week. Overall, Champo 71 leads on 19,855 points. So it's Champo 71 is in front of Mays on 19,681. So that 170 is too much to make up. Manning 1990 has made the battle for second interesting, though. Manning 1990 is on 19,643. So only 38 points between Mays and Manning 1990. Manning 1990 had a great week, trying to pinch second late. 4th spot is what a fill up on 19,463, so they can't get into the money. My team, 76th spot. I'm pretty happy with that. Cam Hart hasn't had the wins recently that we got accustomed to in the middle of the competition. Robbie Morris, is he the best option for the captain in the final week? Brad Hewitt looks set to win a big one next Saturday night. But will he have enough during the week to make him a trade candidate this week? Make sure you get your changes in. Round 25 was won by Haralampus with 1,101. Paddy 8 was second with 1,089. Sienna was third with 1,077. High-scoring week, that's for sure. Now, that just about wraps up the podcast. Big thank you to the guests today. Davey Druitt, great to catch up with him. Brad Hewitt and Nic Horan. Hope you have a good week. Hope you back a few winners. Make sure you join me next week on the Sunday session. Bye for now.